Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the warehouse. I hope you all have had an amazing time this week and a great Father's Day so far. I know many of you may not be fathers, but that's okay. Make sure that you tell your fathers that the warehouse says Happy Father's Day as well as yourself. Make sure you don't forget to tell everyone Happy Father's Day, those father figures in your life that are fathers. Many of lives that play the father figure role. Make sure you tell them Happy Father's Day today and let them know how much you truly appreciate them today, because today is a special day. It is a day where we celebrate those who have played a crucial part. Good morning, Zion. Those who have played a crucial part in helping us to become who we are today. And I want you all to make sure that you are showing your appreciation because a lot of people don't have that privilege. A lot of people have fathers, but their fathers aren't really present. And I think that everyone should be grateful and definitely take as much advantage of the relationship that you have with the father figures in your life as much as you can because that's important. Okay, got that little nugget out the way. Once again, good morning, everyone. We are live on YouTube and Instagram. So if you see me kind of shifting, that's what it is. I'm not going to be before you long this morning, but we are going to talk about the five W's and H, my little series I've been doing. Five W's and H of having a relationship with God. Now, that's very important because we're talking about God constantly. We're constantly talking about praying and being consistent and talking to God. But I want to touch base on having a relationship with God because we need to know what that is. I can't push you all to pray and to be consistent and you're not paying attention and focusing and honing in on that relationship with God. That's important. That's the important part, that relationship with God, because that's what you're building when you pray. That's what you're building when you're staying consistent. That's what you're building when you're expecting a harvest. That's coming from, how does my relationship look with God? When I'm faced with trials and tribulations, how does my relationship look with God? And it's going to show you what it looks like, and it's going to show you how it's feeling when you do face trials, when you do have tribulations. That's what's going to show what your relationship with God looks like. So I'm here to express to you all how important it is for you to simply have a relationship with God. And once you create and develop and increase that relationship with Him, then that's when things start to happen. That's when things start to change. That's when you see things taking place because that relationship is key. I can't sit here and expect God to bless me, but I don't know God. That's weird. I know that He loves me. I know that He cares for me. I know that He's going to provide for me. But do I know who God really is? Like, do I know God for myself? Like, I was supposed to tell this story a little later today, but I'm going to go ahead and tell it in the beginning. I haven't even got it to my notes, so here we are. So, of course, for those of you that know me, knows that my father is the bishop of Victory Tabernacle Church International. He took over the church once my grandfather transitioned into 2007. So having that time, my father was always a pastor. He pastored every. He started actually. My father started to preach the year I was born. So he's all my life he's been there. All my life, my dad has been pastor somebody or bishop somebody or can you come pray for my family? It's always been my dad in the limelight of the church and of being God's voice, being God's vessel, being used by God. So what I did is that I messed around and I allowed myself to know God through my dad, through my mom. I praised God and I worshiped God, but I knew God was definitely going to bless us because of my parents. I never really took personal ownership of my relationship with God. And I went through my whole life like this. Like it wasn't up until my freshman year of college that I had to realize that, hey, you're away from home now. You're not at home. You can't solely depend on your mom and dad's seed. You cannot solely depend on your mom and dad's prayers or their confessions or their declarations. You can't solely depend on that. You got to know God for yourself. And it took a lot. It took a lot for me to go through because I had to, and not only did I have to unlearn my habits because I'm like, and I even caught myself sometimes, I'm like, oh yes, God is going to bless me. God is going to bless my family through my dad. He's going to bless my family through my mom. And I got comfortable with the overflow. I got comfortable with the trickling down of from the top to the bottom and how it overflows over into your children. I got used to that overflow. I thought my overflow was enough for me. I thought my overflow was all I needed. But once I got to school and I really began to face things, not necessarily on my own, but figuratively on my own, because now my parents are like, hey, we're pushing you just a little bit out of the nest. We're getting you a little bit uncomfortable so that if you need to come back home, that's fine, but you're away now. You're getting older now. You're no longer in high school. You're no longer, going to school for 8 hours a day, coming back home. Now you're making your own schedule. Now you're choosing to go to class or choosing not to go to class. You're being held responsible for your work. Nobody's following up behind you. I had to learn a whole bunch of things about myself. But it wasn't until I had to learn God for myself did my life really take off. Did I really begin to be able to focus in school? I really began to be able to do the things that I needed to do in school. But it was only because I began to take ownership, take responsibility for who God is to me. Who is God not necessarily in life, but who is God in Hope's life? Who does Hope need God to be for her right now? Who is God being for her right now? Like, I had to sit back and really, really think about it and really see, okay, God, who are you to me? Not only who are you to me, but God, who are you? Like, that is a big thing. We come to church all the time. We read and we pray and we do what our parents tell us to do. And we do what they instruct us to do when it comes to church. We come to church. We go to Sunday school. We do all of this stuff. But if we really sit down and think about it, do we know who God is? And I'm talking about past the Bible verses, past the things that Jesus did in his 3 years of doing his work. Past that, past the books of the Bible, past all of that, who is God? Who is God alone? And that's something that I had to learn for myself. I was literally knocked on my face. And I could not get back up until I learned who God was, until I learned how to pray. More than before I went to bed and more than when I woke up in the morning. When I learned how to pray more than when things were hard. I had to learn God for myself when I knew I had to take time out of my day to actually study my word, to actually make it my business. That's the word. I had to make it my business to strengthen and to grow and to develop my relationship with God, because that was my responsibility. It was time out for me to, lean on my mom and dad's prayer. It was time out for me to keep calling them like, can you pray for this? Can you pray for me? Can you ask God for this for me? It was time out for that, because my father began to tell me, do you not have a mouth of your own? Do you not have your own faith? Did I not teach you anything? All of these years you're sitting and you're listening to me and you're absorbing everything I'm saying, but are you putting it to use? Are you putting it to practice? That's what I had to face myself. I had to look at myself and say, what are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? All of this is my freshman year of college. I'm fresh out of high school, not really prepared for this next step, but I knew I had to go because God told me to go. I'm just out there. I literally just jumped. Only applied to one school, got accepted, went to school, and I got there, and I'm just like, the first semester I went through fine. I went through the first semester just fine, still leaning on my parents, still leaning on what I thought they had for me. But that second semester hit, and everything was like, this is you. This is for you, and this is what you want, but what are you going to do to keep it? What are you going to do to continue to be able to live in this grace that God has placed you in? Because it's time out for you to be depending on everybody else. What are you doing for you? What responsibility are you taking? And I know even as children, a lot of times, I know for me growing up, a lot of times my parents threw around that responsible word. You're not responsible yet. You don't have any real responsibility, so can I really trust you with X, Y, and Z? I had to become responsible for my relationship with God, because I knew I was expecting God. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like my faith was gone or that I wasn't putting God to the test. Oh, I was putting him to the test. Baby, I was putting him to the test almost every single day, if not every single day, every other day or every week. It was not a time in my life, especially throughout college, that I was not putting God to the test for me. But then again, I had to look at it and be like, I'm putting God to the test. I'm expecting him to bless me. But what am I doing for him? Is this not a two-way relationship? Is this not give and it will come back to you? So I had to check myself. I had to literally check myself. And today I want to give you all that opportunity to sit back and check yourself. Am I doing what I should be doing? Am I doing more than just coming in on Sundays and listening and taking notes? Am I doing that? Am I really learning God for myself? And what I need you to do is to remove your parents from the solution. Remove your parents from the equation is what I'm saying. Remove them from it and leave you and God. Every equation has a symbol in the middle to let you know what are you doing with the two components of this equation. Is it you plus God? Is it you minus God? Is it you times God against God? Or is it you divided by God? Think about it. Because it's very important to know, where do I stand with God right now? And then you take where you are with him right now and you figure out, where do I want to be with God? Because that's that middle piece. That middleman piece is the important part. Because if it's not you plus God, then what is it? I mean, to be honest. So yeah, I just wanted to give y'all that little nugget. It's important before I even start talking about having a relationship with God. I just want you to know how important it is to have a relationship with God. Because it wasn't until I realized that I had to develop mine that I actually began to see the promises that God had shown me in my dreams about Spelman, about being at school. My freshman year, I bombed my whole freshman year. Why? Because I was still depending on God through my parents. Because I wasn't praying like I should have been. I thought I was just going to get in there. High school came easy, so I just knew college would come easy. No, ma'am, it didn't. It did not come easy at all, but I had to work and I had to pray, because I was very, very, very in tune with my grades being a certain letter. I'll accept the B, but that was it. When my first time getting anything lower than that, I literally had to pray. God, show me, what do I need to do? Because I can't keep doing this. God is in everything. And I didn't realize that until I got to school and realized, okay, God, you're right here at school with me. But until I tap into that on my own personal level, I'm not going to be able to experience you here with me, because I'm too busy trying to get you back at home. I'm too busy trying to keep you limited to at home. So now your blessings stop when I leave out that door. I don't need that. I need your blessings to follow me. I need your blessings to come with me. And I do that by having a relationship with you personally. So now I'm carrying you with me wherever I go. I'm not walking with my parents and now my parents are carrying. No, God, I'm carrying you with me. So now I'm developing and I'm honing in and I'm strengthening that relationship that I have with you. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and start talking about my 5 W's and H, so that you all can have a clear understanding of what does this relationship with God actually look like. So this morning I want to start with who. Who can have a relationship with God, or who has a relationship with God? Honestly, anybody can have a relationship with God. But you will not have that relationship with God until you, for one, accept it. We talked about accepting Christ already. If you missed it, go back and catch the video. But we talked about accepting Christ already. That's the first thing. You've accepted now, you've confessed, and you believed. And you've also said yes. Those are the people who have and are strengthening and are growing and are cultivating their relationship with God. It's not until you do those things that your relationship with God is truly authentic. Because I can go around and say I have a relationship with anybody. I have a relationship with God, but if I'm not doing these specific things that define the basis, that defines the foundation of having that relationship with God, who am I? Who am I to say that I have one when I really don't? Because there are things that you have to do. There are certain protocols that you have to take in order to just have a foundation with God to begin with. So first, we want to lay our foundation for our relationship. Do I know who He is? Have I accepted Christ into my life? Have I confessed with my mouth and believed with my heart? Have I said yes to Him? Have I fully, totally committed to you? Am I totally committed to you? Am I? because that's what's necessary for me to even know what a relationship with God even looks like before I can even open my Bible to see what are these instructions for me to be able to maintain this relationship. First, I got to say yes to it. I've never known any two people to be in a relationship without both parties knowing that you are with each other. Even if you stop and say, God, may I be in a relationship with you? God, can we grow together? God, do you mind if I begin to say yes to you, if I begin to commit to you? God, do you mind if I begin to love you like I should? Because every single time he's going to say yes. Every single time he's going to say, please, my child, please love me. My child, please say yes to me. Please confess to me. Please do my word, please. Because that's what I want you to do. But you have to first look at yourself, face yourself and say, okay, self, because don't make the mistake of jumping into a relationship where you're not even ready. Don't fool God. That's good. Do not fool God. I'll say it again. Do not fool God. Don't say, God, yes, God, I'm ready. God, I'm ready to do it. And then when it's time and when he's looking for you to do it, you're not doing nothing. Don't play him. That's not funny. You have to be ready. You have to be prepared. Because this is a commitment. This is a real life thing. This is more than just listening to me. It's more than that. Yes, I'm giving you nuggets on how to push through. I'm giving you nuggets on how to sustain. I'm giving you nuggets on how to persevere. But it is not until you personally yourself, not your mama, not your daddy, not your sisters, not your brother, not your aunties, uncles, grandmas, none of them. They can help you. They can help push you through. They can give you little nuggets like I can. But you are the one who's cultivating it. You are the one who's building it. And because every relationship is going to be different. God is God. God is going to continue to be God. But every relationship that we have with God is tailored to our own needs, our own wants, our own prayers, our own desires. He's going to give you the desires of your heart, not just the desires of the heart, period. The heart can desire a lot of things. But when that relationship is tailored to you and what you have going on, then you're going to know how to move. How do I move with God? How do I function with God? Because now I'm on my own walk. Now I'm on my own journey. And now it's not me fitting God into what I'm doing. It's me fitting into what God is doing. So once I welcome him into my life, things have no choice but to change. Because at that point, my relationship is switching me from, take this. Let's go ahead and do a real life analogy of a real life relationship. Because for those of us who have been in a real life relationship, we know that once we join in with another person, once we come together and unify and agree that we are together now everything changes. Because I'm going from one soul entity to two. So I'm no longer operating over here by myself. We're operating together. So now instead of by myself, I was like this. This person is over here like this. Once we come together, there's no way that we're operating together. We have to come together and find a medium in between. Now we're working at a pace that's right in between each other, not too fast, not too slow. But see how we had to come together? You see how we had to come together and get on our own rhythm in order for it to work? You have to. Relationship, we must be equally yoked. We must be together. We must be on the same page at all times. But every time that we come together in a relationship, our rhythm must change. The way that we think must change. The things that we say, the things that we do, because we're not just considering ourselves anymore. Now we have a whole other person to consider. Now we have God to consider. And what does it look like when I'm considering God? What does that look like? What does having God look like? That's a whole new light. That's a whole new field. It's joy that the world can't take away. It's peace that the world can't give me. It's love that nobody can give me. Patience. It's a whole bunch of things that once I join in cahoots, catch me there. Once I join in cahoots with God, I have no choice. Things have no choice but to change. People have no choice but to stay or leave. And that's just what it is. That's just one period. That's not what I said. Yeah. Okay, moving on. What is a relationship with God? Now, I've touched bases on a lot of stuff so far this morning, but a relationship with God, as I've said, is a commitment. It's a sacrifice. It's denying your flesh. It's a journey. It's hard. Please do not let me fool you to think that this is going to be smooth sailing, because denying your flesh, that is real. Because your flesh is going to want everything that the spirit man does not want. It is until you deny your flesh, you suppress your flesh, and you increase and enhance your spirit that you begin to realize, oh, this is my flesh. I need my spirit to talk. You'll be able to discern what's flesh and what's spirit, and that's what's important. Because if I deny my flesh all the time, then that means my spirit man has no choice but to rise up in me. I'll rise up. I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. My spirit man must do that. It must rise, and it must take control, and it must take precedence, and we must operate, and we must flow. And watch, when you do that, people be like, you know God? Oh, you go to church? Not a believer. Yes, we love a believer. Because we are able to see the manifestations of God every single time. Every single time we are able to see it. Why? Simply because we believe. But I don't even think believing, confessing, and believing, saying yes are all keys. Like, you just got to stick them all in at one time. You turn them, and literally everything is activated. From blessings to miracles to mind blows. Right? It's so many things that are activated once you get all the ingredients in and together. And it's my job to give you those ingredients. So back to what is having a relationship with God. It's long term. If you don't have the patience for it, if you weren't coming, packing your patience, don't even do it. Don't even do it. Because this is something that takes time, and it takes building, and it takes being brought up and brought back down and brought up and brought back down for you to fully see the purpose that God has for you. Because you must be grateful. But in order for us to be grateful, we can't always have good times. We can't. It's just not a thing. It's just not going to happen. So with that being said, we have to know that we are in this for the long haul. If you're looking to start this and stop in a few weeks, or if you know that you're the one that picks up stuff and puts it down easy, do not start until you have prepared yourself for what is really about to happen, for what is really coming your way. Because this is long term. And my next word that's good is that it's challenging. It is challenging. This is a challenge, but it's a challenge that is worth it. We do all the TikTok challenges. We do all the different challenges on social media. But have you tried God's challenge? Have you? Honestly, that's a real question. Have you tried God's challenge? Because we're quick to, I can do this. Watch me move. What's that? Whoa, something about this. I don't know how to dance, y'all. Don't talk about me. All the different challenges and stuff. But what are we doing for God? Are we challenging God? Are we pushing this challenge to be godly children? Are we pushing this challenge to fully commit to God and embark on this journey at a young age? That's the challenge right there. Doing it at a young age. Doing it at a young age. I made the mistake when I was younger of thinking, I got time to praise God. I got time to do for God. I'm sorry. I got time to learn. I got time. Messed around and got to college and time ran out. You don't have the time you think you have. And no time, my grandfather used to always say, the time that knows us now will soon know us no more. Will soon know us no more. You'll be older before you know it. I'm sitting here 22, have a whole bachelor's degree, and I'm just like, whoa, where did the time go? You do not have the time that you think you have. So use the time that you do have. Use it now. Say yes now. Build your relationship right now. Because by the time you get up to my age, or if it's the past, by the time a few years go by and you're older and things are changing, things are happening, you can look back and say, oh, God has been blessing me for a long time. I walked into my purpose and my gift right on time. Before I even turned 21, I was on it because I was with God before. You have to do what everybody else is not doing. Every other child is not going to say, oh yeah, I'm denying my flesh. I am strictly with the word of God. You don't hear that often. You rarely hear children going to church anyway. So be the ones. Be the ones to be the ones. Just be the ones to be the ones. Okay. Another thing that having a relationship with God is that it's uncomfortable. It's outside of what you're used to, but it's important and necessary. Let's go back to uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable should be something that we enjoy. Because when we're uncomfortable, we know that we're growing. We know that we are leveling up, if you will. Because I'm uncomfortable, I'm made uncomfortable to become comfortable. Because when I'm uncomfortable, the only thing that I'm fighting to do is become comfortable. And at that point, I'm doing anything by any means necessary to become comfortable. And I have to unlearn some things. I have to deny some things. I have to change some things so that I can become comfortable again and not have to go back to the place that where I was uncomfortable in the place before that. Because once I get uncomfortable, that means everything leading up to the uncomfortableness was not right. Because if it was, I would have been uncomfortable. I would have been comfortable. So we have to know that it's uncomfortable. It's outside of what we're used to, but it's important and it's necessary. It's important and it's necessary. Also, a relationship with God is a key ingredient to your blessings, to your miracles, and to your harvest. We've been expecting miracles, we've been praying for blessings since we started this journey together with the warehouse. But it's my job to give you the key ingredients that you need. And a part of that is a relationship with God. That's number one. Also, your relationship with God, we've been talking about living an Amos 9:13 life. We've been talking about living an Amos 9:13 life. Having a relationship with God is an activation key for that life. It activates it. It pushes it into start. It jumpstarts it. It makes it come into action. And that's what we need. We want our Amos 9:13 life to be activated now. It won't be long now. God's decree, things are going to happen so fast. We want things to start now. We want things to jump off now, to take place now. Now that I'm younger, now that I'm a child, now that I'm a teenager, now that I'm a young adult, that's when we want it to start. Because by the time I get into up in age and get older, one, I already know I'm not learning. Two, I already know what God can do. So now I'm a living, walking, breathing testimony. And three, I have no doubt my faith is on 1,000. I have no fear. All I'm doing is walking around doing what God has told me to do, holding up my end of the bargain and watching God work because He's faithful. He's always going to be faithful, but are you going to be faithful? And are you going to tap into that faith so that you can begin to be faithful if you haven't been faithful already? Okay. Next, we have, where do we show this relationship with God? Where does this relationship with God take place? Everywhere. You carry this relationship with you everywhere you go. You cannot pick up and put down this relationship. You cannot be with God one day and break up with Him the next. No, because you don't want God to do you like that. You don't want God to bless you one day and not want to the next. You don't want God to be with you, show up and show out with you this day, and then the next day you have absolutely nothing. Because who am I to only give God enough for this day? God is giving you enough for your whole life. He's giving you enough up to this point. So at this point, you owe Him. You've owed Him since before you were even formed, before you were even created. So you have to let your relationship with God shine through you at all times. So wherever you go, you know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you got a relationship with God," because I see it. I see the love of God on you. I'm experiencing the love of God through you. Because we are salt and light, and in order to be salt and light, we have to have that relationship. We have to carry it with us everywhere we go, because God dwells within us. Mm. When? When do I have this relationship with God? Because you carry it with you everywhere you go. It's always. You're always building a relationship with God. You're always strengthening. To this day, I'm still building mine. It's strong. It's solid. It's grounded, but I'm still building it. Because every single day I need God more. God, show me how to deal with this now. Show me how to deal with this season that I'm in now. And if I'm still in this season, God, show me how to walk through it, how to get through it. If I need to get out of something, God, show me how to get out of it. God, as you're bringing people into my life, give me the spirit of discernment every day. Strengthen my heart every day so that I can love the people that I'm loving every day. So that I have the capacity to love everyone, because the people around me are also changing. So God, I need you to teach me how to love them as they love me. Teach me how to love them as they're changing, as they're growing, as I'm changing, as I'm growing. And God, as I'm changing and growing, allow me to change and grow in what you have for me, in the way that you will have me to change and grow. Because it's easy to change and grow in our own recognizance. It's easy to change and do and switch it up and do something different based on how we feel it and based on what we want to happen in our lives. But it's important that we ask God, God, what do you have going on for me? What's up with you and me, God? What do I need to be doing right now, Lord? If my relationship is not up to par, if my relationship is not where it needs to be, God, sit me down and show me what it is I need to be working on. Just let it, God, show me, tell me. However it is that you have to show me or tell me and confirm for me that this is what I need to be working on, go ahead and do that now. Because right now is the time that I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to work on this. I'm trying to get this right for you and for me. Because I know I cannot tap into my potential. I cannot tap into my gift and my purpose without you. So now that I know that, now that I know that everything is within your hands, now I want to get to you so you can relinquish your hands a little bit. So you can pour down on me. So you can open up the windows of heaven for me. I want that. So by any means necessary. I haven't told y'all to comment all day. So comment by any means necessary. By any means necessary, I am going to have my relationship with God. I'm going to bless God. I'm going to strengthen God, my relationship with God, because why not? And if you're not doing that, then what are you doing? I said what I said. Okay. When do you build your relationship with God? You know that you're building it, or when it's being built, when by the way you act, by the way you respond to things, that's going to change. You're going to be able to pick and choose what's worth me reacting to, what's worth my energy. You're building it while you're being persistent and consistent, while you're doing everything that I'm teaching you, while you're going back and reading your notes, building, while you're going back and practicing what your notes say, building, where you're praying, building, making a habit of reading your word, building. That's when you do it. When you do the things that cater to the kingdom of God, that cater to what you know God wants you to be doing right now. That's when. Okay. How? First, you confess and believe. We said that. We said that you tell God yes. You work on it. You ask for guidance. You seek wisdom. You seek his voice. You read and you meditate on the word. You put your faith. You seek wisdom. You seek his voice. You read and meditate on the word. You have faith. You put your faith to the test. You're bold. We all should know how to be bold. If not, go back to Victory Tabernacle Church International and just watch some of our things from last year. We talked about being bold full 12 months of 2019. We're tuning in and we're being fed by the word. We're taking notes. We're going back and we're reading our notes. We're praising and we're worshiping and we're praying. Those are just little nuggets on how we're doing. But every day we're practicing. Every day we're being intentional. Every day we're praising him, God. We're worshiping God. We're taking time out for God. We're talking to him. We're saying, God, what are you saying to me? We're being still. We're being quiet. We're listening to him. We're going into our secret place and we're honing in and we're focusing on him so that he can talk to us. We're doing exactly what he's telling us to do. Everything he tells us to do, we're saying yes to it. That's how we build it. And now, last but not least, why? Why do we have this relationship with God? To see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. We talked about that. We're doing it for harvest. We're doing it for breakthroughs. We're doing it for favor, grace, miracles, blessings. We're doing it so that we can love each other right, so we can treat each other right, so we can turn the other cheek at all times, so we can give, sacrifice. We're doing it because God is just that good. He's simply just that good. Because God is wealthy. God has more than anybody. God has more than anything we could ever need. You cannot beat God giving. Nobody can give you what God can give you. Nobody can bless you like God can bless you. Nobody can bring you through like God can bring you through. Nobody can give you joy, peace, love, happiness, strength, none of that. Patience, none of that. Nobody can do that with God. Not in the way that you need it. Not in the way that'll keep you. Not in the way that will sustain you. Why? Because your life will change for the better. Why? Because you'll become wealthy and healthy and prosperous. And you'll be able to tap into the gifts that he has for you. You'll be able to tap into what it is that he's doing for you. He's going to show you so much. But you have to know your why. You have to know your when, your where, your what, your who, all of that. You must know. And your how. Because that's the important part. That's the key part to it. That's the part that we're looking at, we're looking for. But it's key. It's important at all times. At all times. At all times. We must have a relationship with God. We must build a relationship. And if you need help, reach out to me. If you need a little assistance, contact me. Let me know what's going on. And I'm more than happy to talk with you, to give you advice, to share with you, give you scriptures to read, tell you where to start, tell you where to begin, tell you what to do, what not to do. Help you. I'm willing to help you. But you have to let me know that you need the help. Because it's important to me that you have a relationship with God so that you can see and experience what I've seen and experienced. Okay. I'm going to pray for us, and we're going to do offering. Actually, before I pray, we're going to go ahead and do offering. I believe that Victory Tabernacle Church International is actually doing offering right now, so this is perfect timing. You all can definitely text to give at 404-996-0077. Do not forget the importance of tithing and giving your 10% at all times. At all times. You can also give on Easy Tithe. That's an app, Easy Tithe. Search Victory Tabernacle Church International. Will come up. You can give online at www.igotthevictory.org. You can cash app, $, I Got the Victory. You can mail it, 111 Kellytown Road, McDonough, Georgia, 30252. You're more than welcome. Or if your parents already attend our church, or if your parents are giving to our church and you want them to give for you, go ahead and give them your offering, and they can go and give all of those different ways. Once again, text 404-996-0077. Mail, 111 Kellytown Road, McDonough, Georgia, 30252. Cash App, $, I Got the Victory. EasyTithe.com online, or our website, www.igotthevictory.org. I'm going to give you all a little time to go ahead and actually go away and give, and then we'll come back, we'll pray, and we'll dismiss. I feel a little song. Yeah. And it will come back to you. Good measure, press down, shake it together. Running over again, and it shall come back to you when you give unto the Lord. Give. Okay, I'll give you all time to give. Now I'm going to pray for you all. Will be dismissed. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for today, God. We praise you and we thank you for your blessings and your miracles, oh God. Lord, thank you that you are protecting us and providing for us, oh God. Lord, thank you for your children that they are giving up to you, oh God. They're 10% of their increase, oh God. Lord, thank you for the increase in their faith. I thank you for an increase in their relationship with you, oh God. And if they do not know you, God, allow them to know you. Allow them to come to you, God, right now. God, allow them to know that they need you. They can't make it without you. They can't go anywhere without you. They cannot move and breathe and do anything without you. God, allow them to understand just the importance of knowing you and denying the flesh and committing to you and saying yes to you. God, we love you and we thank you and we praise you even in this. God, you are showing up and you are showing out in the land right now. God, you are healing us. You are delivering us. You are providing for us. You are making ways for us every single day, God. And we thank you and we praise you, God, because you are awesome. You are great. You are God alone. And God, I pray that we are learning you for you. We are searching for you. We are seeking you for you because we need to know and to learn and to develop you for you because you are God and God alone and you need absolutely no help. Thank you that we are relinquishing our control and our rights to you so that you can bless us and give us miracles and show up and show out in our lives, God. We thank you and we praise you even in this, and it's your son's name that we do pray. Amen. Amen. I love you all so much. My name is Hope Strickland. For those of you that do not know, thank you so much for joining us today at the warehouse. I will see you all on Tuesday for prayer. Please remember, if you have prayer requests, so please send them to me directly. If not, it's okay. We will continue to pray. We'll continue to pray for each other and the land. I love you all so much, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Bye. On Tuesday. Please excuse me, on Tuesday. See you all on Tuesday. Bye.